Whether you need to open a checking account or interested in taking out a loan or mortgage, Old Hickory Credit Union can help you every step of the way. Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment. Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment is your one-stop shop for all of your outdoor needs. Select Physical Therapy in Springfield. Select Physical Therapy provides inpatient and outpatient rehabilitation services in Robertson County. And the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Remember, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Now, here are David Wilson and Brady McAtamney. The Robertson County High School Football Show is brought to you by Springfield Carpet One. Whether you are in need of new hardwood, luxury vinyl, tile, carpet, or laminate, Springfield Carpet One has everything you need for your next flooring project. Thomas Drugs. Since the early 1900s, Thomas Drugs has served the Robertson community for all of their prescription needs. Stop by and see their friendly staff and grab you a sundae at their ice cream parlor today. Old Hickory Credit Union. Whether you need to open a checking account or are interested in taking out a loan or mortgage, Old Hickory Credit Union can help you every step of the way. Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment. Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment is the one-stop shop for all of your outdoor needs. Select Physical Therapy in Springfield. Select Physical Therapy provides inpatient and outpatient rehabilitation services in Robertson County. And the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Remember, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Now, here are David Wilson and Brady McAtamney.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome into the Robertson County Football Show. I am David Wilson, sports reporter for the Robertson County Connection, joined by Main Street, Clarksville sports editor Brady McAtamney. Brady, round one of the playoffs is in the books. Let's dive right in and let's talk about it. And I got a feeling I know where you're starting.
That's right. We're getting right in there, as always, with the Springfield Yellow Jackets. Tough draw in the first round as they lost to Southwind 62-0. Our Springfield High School football segment is brought to you by Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment in Springfield. They are a one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Stop by and see their inventory or give them a call at 615-384-7660. Springfield season came to a close in a shutout loss at Southwind. What went wrong for the Yellow Jackets on Friday night in Memphis?
Yeah, when you're the road underdog, going on the road, as I said, to the Memphis area, facing a Southwind team that's undefeated, that has a sophomore quarterback in Kelvin Perkins, who is a Mr. Football semifinalist in 5A, you got to find ways to take care of the football, and that was something that Springfield was not able to do in the first half. Offensively, they turned the football over twice. That resulted in 2 Jaguars defensive touchdowns, and that really set them behind the 8 ball. Early on in that matchup, Perkins, as I mentioned, he's a semifinalist. He had 36 touchdowns coming into this matchup in the playoffs, so he had a great regular season, almost averaging 4 touchdowns per game, and he continued that this past week at a home against Springfield. He had 4 touchdowns in that one, 3 passing, 1 rushing, and he also led 5 scoring drives on the night. So he was able to do it with his arm and his legs against the Yellow Jackets. And, in the second half, he came out of the game. So Springfield offensively was just not able to muster much on the road at Memphis, in the Memphis area, rather. All year long they had been stumbling, not being able to sustain drives and put them together. So after consecutive appearances in the quarterfinals, Springfield's season ended in the first round for the first time since 2011 when they lost to Hendersonville. So Dustin Wilson entered this matchup 9-0 in his career as head coach in the first round of the playoffs. So this is his first loss in the first round since his time out there at the Nest in Springfield. So this team, as I mentioned, they're going to close the year 4-7. Obviously, it wasn't the season that they wanted, but considering all that they had lost to graduation a year ago, this team battled and it fought, and its defense really got better towards the end of the year. And granted, surrendering 62 points in the last game of the year isn't what they wanted. But, this defense got hot towards the end of the year and held some prolific offenses, at bay down the stretch when they played against Gallatin, Beach, Hendersonville. Really made it tough for those teams. And so Springfield, when I think about their year, just trying to find the quarterback and identify it moving forward. Obviously, Parker Betts is a junior. So he will be coming back next year as a senior. But they also have a freshman quarterback that has shown some promise, and I know that Dustin Wilson is really high on. So this group, they're going to recover. Dustin Wilson's one of the best coaches in the Mid-State. And so we know we will have this team ready to go next year. Obviously, they're going to lose Clarence Cobbins, who's a great, phenomenal player that helps them in so many different ways, 3 ways. He's a special teams guy. He's a receiver. He's played some quarterback as well when they've lined up in the Wildcat. And so he really does a lot of things for them. Expect to see his name really high on the first team all-county list for Robertson County. He's really going to be in contention for defensive player in the year in the county. He does so much for that team, and he's really one of the main reasons why that defense continued to improve down the stretch. So to summarize, not the year that they wanted, but considering everything that they lost to make the playoffs in their region that features Henry County, Beach, Hendersonville, all 3 of those teams have moved on this week in the playoffs. So, it's a tough region, but, the team never quit. They battled and they got better defensively as the year went along.
Moving on, we'll talk about the Greenbrier Bobcats. Of course, didn't make the playoffs this year, finishing 4-6. Our Greenbrier High School football segment is brought to you by Old Hickory Credit Union. Whether you need to open a checking account or are interested in taking out a loan or mortgage, Old Hickory Credit Union can help you every step of the way. Visit their branch in Greenbrier or give them a call at 615-847-4043. David, why don't you just kind of wrap up the Bobcat season for us?
Yeah, Brady, we kind of talked about this last week. This team was ravaged through injuries through the first several weeks of the year. It really started in their season opener on the road at Springfield. In the second half, you have offensive linemen go down, 2 or 3 of those. And, they could never really recover from that early on in the year. The next week, they got blown out at home by Portland. And, just this team really struggled early on to find the identity and really stay healthy. We had high expectations for this group heading into the year when you bring back Javarius Flood at the wide receiver and the cornerback position, who's a senior all-region selection, all-county guy in Robertson County. And then when you have a quarterback like Nolan Carson, second team all-county last year at the quarterback position, and an all-region guy in Region 5-4A. So there was expectations on this group after they made the playoffs last year. They just never stay healthy early on in the year. Carson was banged up at several points of the year. He had a concussion in the second half of their road game in Station Camp, a game that they truly wish they could have back. They were leading that game at half, and it might have been the difference in them making the playoffs. But this team never quit. They were resilient under John Elmore. Credit to him. He's a veteran in the Robertson County area, a Greenbrier native. So this team stayed bought in. And, their schedule got lighter as the year went along. They were able to win 3 of their last 4 games of the year, wins over Montgomery Central, White House Heritage, teams like that were beatable. They were to take care of business. And so the only loss towards the end of the year came against Procone. Now, obviously, Procone's a favorite in Class 4A, and they held the Firebirds to only 35 points in that game. So Greenbrier got better, and they were one of the hotter teams in Robertson County towards the end of the year. So it's kind of disappointing because I would love to see them in the playoffs, see if they could carry that momentum into the first round. So, but this team – give them credit. They stayed bought in. They were resilient all year long. They'll lose the seniors of Flood, Carson, Castleman. So 3 really big pieces on that team that they will lose and have to replace next year. But John Elmore, he's going to be up for the task. And just, this team has some question marks moving forward. Who are going to be the skill position guys that can do things for them offensively and defensively. But, to be able to finish the year 4-6 after the start they had is pretty impressive.
Moving on to White House Heritage. They played a thriller against Stratford, but lost 58-42. Our White House Heritage High School football segment is brought to you by Springfield Carpet One in Springfield. Whether you are in need of new hardwood, luxury vinyl, tile, carpet, or laminate, Springfield Carpet One has everything you need for your next flooring project. Stop by their showroom or give them a call at 615-382-7190. It was a track meet in White House as the Patriots and Spartans combined for a Benjamin. That's 100 points. How was Stratford able to pull it off?
Yeah, Brady, I'm glad you used that term. I was talking to Maurice Patton about this, obviously our good colleague down in the Maury County area for Main Street Media. And it was a track meet between this one, a 58-42 final with Stratford going on the road to pick up the win in the Class 3A playoffs. And, Brady, it really started from the very beginning. This was a back-and-forth affair in White House. I was actually at East Robertson this past Friday night, and this game was still going on. I was leaving Cross Plains, so I decided to stop by and catch the tail end of this one, and it was sure entertaining as I got there for the final 10 minutes of the fourth quarter. But really early on, Heritage took an early lead after the first quarter. They were leading 14-7, but Stratford is able to rip off 3 touchdowns in the second quarter to take a 28-14 lead in the half. But White House Heritage stuck with it offensively. They were able to cut the lead to 6 after the third quarter and eventually take the lead in the early stages of the fourth quarter when Xavier Murray and Eric Lopez connected on a touchdown. So this game was back and forth early on. And when I got there for the later portions of the fourth quarter, I knew that it was going to come down to the 2 quarterbacks who had played phenomenally throughout the entire game. Xavier Murray, who's a freshman for White House Heritage, and Stratford, they have a senior quarterback in Justice Law. Both are sons of their head coaches. So we had a father-son showdown in White House, and it goes to the Spartans. Justice Law was really great in the fourth quarter at sustaining plays with his legs and also being able to push the football down the field. Justice Law finished Friday night 10 of 17 passing for 159 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also had 15 carries on the night for 157 yards. So Justice Law was all over the field this past Friday night. And then Stratford got the game-winning touchdown late in the game from Altavion Frazier, who finished the night with 23 carries for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns. But I'm going to give credit to this White House team. They were 1-9 last year, and to be able to make the playoffs this year, had the opportunity to compete for a region championship in the last week of the year and to get a home game in the playoffs, and they performed well. This team was shut out in their finale in that region winner-take-all championship game against Fairview. They had a goose egg on the scoreboard. And for this team to rip off 42 points, that's pretty impressive considering how young they are offensively. You have a freshman quarterback, you have a junior wide receiver in Eric Lopez, who's just now hitting his stride. So Xavier Murray, you always wonder how are freshmen going to respond in those moments in those big-time games. And Xavier Murray delivered for this team. He had 19 completions for 266 yards and 4 touchdowns. Xavier Murray was connecting with Dason Springer and Eric Lopez all night. Dason Springer finished the night with a career day offensively. He had 7 catches for 146 yards and 3 touchdowns. Eric Lopez had another 9 catches for over 122 yards and a couple touchdowns as well. So this group offensively was able to do so much. You have to think last week, in the region take-all championship game at Fairview, this team had a 0 on the scoreboard at the end of the night. For them to come back and score 42 points in the playoffs, that's pretty impressive. This game, the score is a little misconceiving. Stratford wins by 16, but this game got away from White House Heritage late. Xavier Murray threw an interception pass that Jalen Watts was able to take to the house to really seal this game in the last possession of the game. So what a remarkable year for Heritage. We mentioned how they were 1-9 last year. And for this team to be able to make the playoffs and have a home playoff game, that's pretty remarkable for this group under a first-year head coach out there at White House Heritage and Scott Murray, who came over from Clarksville Academy last year. So the sky's the limit for this team. They're bringing back a lot of key pieces, specifically at the quarterback position, where Xavier Murray is just a freshman. He'll be a sophomore next year, and when Eric Lopez will be coming back for his then senior year. So offensively, one of the main pieces that this team is going to lose is Adrian Bonilla at the running back position, who had another great night. He's had a great year up there in White House Heritage. Bonilla rushed for 23 carries for 168 yards and a touchdown this past Friday night against Stratford. So Stratford will move on in the Class 3A playoffs. They will face their rival East Nashville. But credit to Heritage, just a remarkable year, as I mentioned. Everything that they went on, they continue to get better offensively down the stretch. Obviously, the Fairview game was really tight, a ground and pound kind of game. But this team got better. So in the offseason, this defense will look to get better as well. They'll lose their middle linebacker, McKenna Kaufman. But this team, just remarkable job all year long under Scott Murray.
Moving on to a team that will be moving on. East Robertson beat Cascade 42-0. Our East Robertson High School football segment is brought to you by Thomas Drugs in Cross Plains. Since the early 1900s, Thomas Drugs has served the Robertson community for all of their prescription needs. Stop by and see their friendly staff and grab you a sundae at their ice cream parlor today. A stout defense and explosive offense pushed East Robertson to a statement win over Cascade. Why don't you recap the action for us?
Yeah, East Robertson was able to do it defensively. We give their offense so much praise, what they're able to do offensively. They're so explosive and so potent, but the defense was really key this past Friday night up in Cross Plains as they took on Cascade. Cascade entered the game 5-5, so they were the 3 seed in their region as East Robertson was the 2 seed after their loss to Smith County early on in the year. And East Robertson was able to have 4 takeaways defensively on Friday night that helped, kick their offense into higher gear. Interceptions by Cade Brooks, who took that one for a 27-yard return for a touchdown to start the third quarter. Zach Groves, defensive lineman, who's a star pass rusher, had 3 sacks and also had a one-handed interception on a 4th down try out of a punt formation. So defensively, also had a block punt. So they were doing it all defensively on Friday night, and that really helped keep that offense in high gear and keep that momentum going. Obviously, East Robertson wins the toss on Friday night. They take the football, and on the second play from the offensive drive, Isaiah Groves is in the end zone for another touchdown. That doesn't surprise anybody. He was named a Mr. Football semifinalist in Class 2A at the beginning of the week, on Thursday night, rather. And then he continued that performance on Friday night against Cascade, rushing for 177 yards and 2 touchdowns on the night. Casey Young was efficient. He just played the first half. So he had a 53-yard touchdown pass, Elijah Groves, in the first half to really kick things in gear for this offense. So they were doing it all on Friday night. I'll keep the recap really short because we'll preview their matchup with undefeated Marion County, which will be a colossal matchup in 2A in our next couple segments. But I'll keep the recap short. They were doing it all on Friday night, 42-0, really statement win defensively. This defense has been great all year. So they're continuing to get better. They found the pieces up front that can get after the passer and cause some turnovers, and they're steady. You got seniors like Wyatt Pearson, Dallas Caffrey, Elijah Groves, and you got young guys like Zach Groves who can put some pressure on the quarterback and make it really hard for these opposing offenses to keep up with East Robertson's high-paced group led by Groves and Casey Young on the opposite side. So credit to East Robertson, a big win for them over Cascade. They feel kind of underlooked, in Class 2A. They have a tough road to get to the Blue Cross Bowl in Chattanooga. They'll have to go through Marion County this week and maybe Smith County in a rematch on the road. So those 2 road matchups are going to be difficult but for East Robertson. But I know Chase Brooks and the group are up for the task, so we'll break down that matchup a little later on, Brady.
Yeah, we're going to take our first break of the show here, and when we come back, we're going to talk about a pair of teams who had their seasons end in Joe Burns and White House.
At Old Hickory Credit Union, we're member-owned, not-for-profit, and eager to serve our Robertson County community. Since 1934, we have strived to provide our members with a safe, reliable place to take care of all their financial needs. From checking accounts to loans to mortgages, we're here to help. Credit unions have to constantly adapt to meet the needs of an ever-changing market. However, one constant will always remain, and that is the service we provide to our members. Stop by our Greenbrier branch today.
If you're in need of new flooring, look no further than Springfield Carpet One, Floor and Home. We have a showroom filled with a wide range of flooring options, including hardwood, luxury vinyl, carpet, laminate, and tile. Our expert team is here to provide advice and guidance to help you find the right flooring for your needs. With special financing available, you can buy now and pay over time. Stop by our showroom today or visit our website at carpet1springfield.com.
Thomas Drugs, serving our community since the early 1900s. We're a full-service drugstore and soda fountain located in a building on Main Street that is on the National Register of Historic Places. We have a staff of pharmacists with over 70 years of experience, and we are committed to offering the best care and service to our community. We're now offering healthcare testing and treatment with positive results, a one-stop shop. Stop by our pharmacy today or visit our website at thomasdrugs.net.
He shoots, and he scores!
Welcome back to the Robertson County Football Show. I'm Brady McTamney. That's Robertson County sports reporter David Wilson. We are talking all things Robertson County football from this past week. We're going to get back in the action with Joe Burns here, who took a big loss to South Pittsburgh 63-0. Our Joe Burns High School football segment is brought to you by Select Physical Therapy in Springfield. Select Physical Therapy provides inpatient and outpatient rehabilitation services in Robertson County. Give them a call at 615-384-3836. How would you summarize this season for first-year Joe Burns head coach Justin Robertson?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously disappointing anytime your season can end in the first round of the playoffs. You know, you aspire for more when you start lacing up the pads in the summer, when you get things going. You know, taking over for Tom Atkins, who's a legendary coach up there in Cedar Hill. There are high expectations for Justin Robinson, and this team just can never deliver on them. You know, it was a tough year all along. They did not notch a win against competition in the state of Tennessee. Their lone victory on the year came against Ballard Memorial in week 2. Ballard Memorial is a school up in Kentucky. So 1-10 overall for Joe Burns on the year. And they really struggled with turnovers and just not being able to find the right playmakers on the offensive side of the football. This team really struggled to get in the end zone at certain cases. Amari Cotton started the year at the quarterback position and maintained the starting job until the last couple weeks of the year. Sophomore Luke Miller took over against Houston County to the second last week of the year, and he showed some flashes and potential in his last 2 games of the regular season against Houston County and their home finale against Red Bowling Springs. But, you know, it was a tough task for this team this week, going on the road to face South Pittsburgh, who was undefeated. They're one of the favorites in Class A. You know, they have multiple guys that are on semifinalist lists for Mr. Football. So they're going to have a really good chance to get back to their home field this past week and make some noise in the playoffs, and then have the opportunity to be one of the home teams in the Blue Cross Bowl in Chattanooga. But when I think about this, you know, when I think about this Joe Burns group, rather, I got East Robertson on my mind. You know, the question of who's going to be the quarterback moving on in the future is on my mind. You know, is it going to be Amari Cotton, who showed flashes this year of athleticism and playmaking ability, or is it going to be Luke Miller? That's something to watch moving into the summer and next year up there in Cedar Hill with Justin Robinson. You know, you're going to lose guys like Malachi Rivera, Reed Blumel, who were all region guys in the past, you know, linebacker, wide receiver position. Rivera also saw some time at running back. So you're going to lose those 2 guys. Can you get young players to step up? You know, Justin Robinson mentioned after their game against Harpeth several weeks ago, we just need guys to step up and make plays when the game is on the line and really truly matters most. That was case and evident when they played against Red Bowling Springs in the last week of the year. They're up 16-6 in the first half, unable to close it off. You know, Red Bowling Springs comes back and takes the lead late in the fourth quarter, but you have an opportunity to have a game-winning drive on senior night to boost yourself in the playoff standings, to not be able to go on the road to face South Pittsburgh in the first round of the playoffs. You drive down into Red Bowling Springs territory, but just not able to get things done. You drop a touchdown pass in the end zone that would have sent you to Whitwell. So just some missed opportunities throughout the year that Justin Robinson and this team can look back on. I think about the roughing the kicker penalty against Houston County the second last week of the year. The opportunity to pick up a big road win there as well. So that's the quarterback position, and having somebody step up and make time of the plays is on my mind when I think about Joe Burns in their season. And then lastly, you know, Amari Cotton, as I mentioned, is he going to play quarterback? You know, he has shown the versatility throughout the year that you can flank him out at the running back position. You can put him potentially at the wide receiver spot. So he has the athleticism and the versatility to make plays for you. And, you know, offensively, you want to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. So, you know, when I think about Joe Burns in this group, obviously it's a new system under a new coach up there. Tom Atkins had done a great job up there for so long. So, you know, there were going to be growing pains for this group. So just looking to see how they respond. Obviously, as I mentioned, not the year that they wanted. But, you know, there's optimism when you think about this coaching staff and how much he's able to bond this group together. This is a team that loved to fight for each other, that, you know, never gave up on this season, and they were bought into the message that Justin Robinson was given. So just disappointing to see this team, obviously, with a 1-win season, but they'll bounce back up there in Cedar Hill.
Moving on to our final team of the day, the White House Blue Devils lost a close one to Hardin County 29-22. Our White House High School football segment is brought to you by Springfield Carpet One in Springfield. Whether you are in need of new hardwood, luxury vinyl, tile, carpet, or laminate, Springfield Carpet One has everything you need for your next flooring project. Stop by their showroom or give them a call at 615-382-7190. It was a heartbreaker for the Blue Devils in this 7-point loss. How close was White House to pulling off the upset?
Yeah, Brady, I mentioned last week in my pick'em column that if there was any team in the Robertson County area of our three teams that were 4 seeds, Springfield, White House, and Joe Burns, to go on the road and maybe pull an upset over one of the 1 seeds in the playoffs, it was White House. When you looked at Hardin County, not to say that they were a bad football team or anything like that, but, they were beatable if you played the right kind of game. And I liked White House's style of play. You know that they're going to play really good defense and they're going to run the football with Michael Albin, and they're going to have to play action pass with Tanner Hayes and Kenny Holt. And White House was able to stay in this football game throughout the night. You're battling against Carter Smith, the quarterback for Hardin County, who was a Mr. Football semifinalist in 4A. And, the Tigers were able to capitalize on the momentum being the home team, and they scored on the opening drive of the game. But White House stayed in it. This was a 4-point game at halftime with Hardin County leading 14-10. White House takes the lead early on in the third quarter. They missed the extra point, but they were to stay in it. Hardin County answers right back with a touchdown to carry the lead into the fourth quarter, but White House gets the ball to start the fourth quarter, marches right down the field and scores. And they maintain the lead throughout the fourth quarter until Hardin County scores a touchdown with 32 seconds remaining. Carter Smith takes a 5-yard rushing touchdown into the end zone to book their ticket to the second round of the playoffs. So give credit to White House. I know it's a heartbreaker. Anytime you can take the lead like that in the fourth quarter, I know it's emotional. And to have the game-winning touchdown come with just seconds remaining, looking to make a goal on sand, obviously for Ryan Hamilton's group, that's a heartbreaker. But, they played really well all season long. To be able to win six games when you make the jump up into Class 4A like they did this year in a really tough region, the top two teams in that region are Pearl Cone and Marshall County, some favorites to try to make it to the Blue Cross Bowl in Chattanooga. And White House was able to, stick with them in that region. Obviously, they played Upperman, who's another team that's looking to make the Class 4A title game. And they gave Upperman all they could handle in a home game. They only lost that one by 14. So give credit to White House for this year. Another 6-win season, their second consecutive under Ryan Hamilton. They held Carter Smith to just 200 yards passing and 2 touchdowns in this one. That's pretty impressive considering the numbers that he had throughout the regular season entering this matchup. So obviously disappointing. You wish you could finish that one off if you're White House to move on to the second round of the playoffs. They lost last year in the first round of the playoffs as well to East Nashville. So disappointing, but give credit to White House. I knew that they were able to fight and keep their way in this one.
We're going to take our second break of the show. When we come back, we are going to preview the East Robertson versus Marion County football game.
Whether you've set personal goals or are just making your health and well-being a priority, Select Physical Therapy is here for you. Select Physical Therapy is your trusted physical therapy partner for recovering from aches and pains, gaining strength, and preventing injury. There's no better time to make Select Physical Therapy's movement experts part of your healthcare team. To learn more about the benefits of physical therapy and get on the road to recovery and wellness, schedule an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy today.
If you're in the market for new equipment, come to Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment in Springfield. We are your one-stop shop for all of your outdoor projects and needs. We have a large selection of eco-powered equipment and a full line of bad boy mowers and tractors. We also have a broad inventory of outdoor storage buildings and provide maintenance and small engine repair on most equipment. We also carry a large line of mower engines and parts. For great financing options, stop by Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment today. If you're in need of new flooring, look no further than Springfield Carpet One, Floor and Home. We have a showroom filled with a wide range of flooring options, including hardwood, luxury vinyl, carpet, laminate, and tile. Our expert team is here to provide advice and guidance to help you find the right flooring for your needs. With special financing available, you can buy now and pay over time. Stop by our showroom today or visit our website at carpet1springfield.com.
At Old Hickory Credit Union, we're member-owned, not-for-profit, and eager to serve our Robertson County community. Since 1934, we have strived to provide our members with a safe, reliable place to take care of all their financial needs. From checking accounts to loans to mortgages, we're here to help. Credit unions have to constantly adapt to meet the needs of an ever-changing market. However, one constant will always remain, and that is the service we provide to our members. Stop by our Greenbrier branch today. Thomas Drugs, serving our community since the early 1900s. We're a full-service drugstore and soda fountain located in a building on Main Street that is on the National Register of Historic Places. We have a staff of pharmacists with over 70 years of experience, and we are committed to offering the best care and service to our community. We're now offering healthcare testing and treatment with positive results, a one-stop shop. Stop by our pharmacy today or visit our website at thomasdrugs.net.
Welcome back to the Robertson County Football Show. I'm Brady McAtamney. That is David Wilson. He is your sports reporter for the Robertson County Connection. We only got one game to preview this week, so David, why don't you go ahead and give it to us?
Yeah, what a colossal matchup we have on slate in the second round of the Class 2A playoffs. You have one loss, East Robertson, 10-1 on the year, going on the road to face the Marion County Warriors, who are 11-0 on the year. Two Goliaths in Class 2A taking the field on Friday night in Jasper, Tennessee, with a quarterfinal appearance on the line. When I think about this East Robertson group, I was really doubtful of how far they can make it in the playoffs, considering the 2-week stretch that I saw them play against Smith County on Friday Night Rivals in the MyTV 30 game of the week, and then the following week against Westmoreland. I was really concerned about this group and whether or not they can make a bid to go to Chattanooga for their first ever championship game appearance. And I'm sold on this group now. When I think about Kason Young, he's gotten better. He's limited the ill-advised mistakes and turnovers that he made in the Smith County game. Over the last 7 weeks, he's thrown for 503 yards and 9 touchdowns. So phenomenal for this team. Getting better. They're hit their stride offensively. They're making plays, and they're doing just enough defensively. You know, they're stout up front when you have Zach Groves, Wyatt Pearson. You got a hard-nosed linebacker in Dallas Caffrey, and when you have Elijah Groves, in the back end as well. So Marion County is another team that's really good defensively. Marion County has limited their opponents to less than 10 points per game. So I think this one has the makings of a defensive battle on Friday night in Jasper. Which team is going to be able to own the line of scrimmage and impose its will in the trenches? That will go a long way into deciding this game. You know, for Marion County, they have seniors Brody Leonard and EJ Wilson at the running back position. Kind of like East Robertson, they like to run the football and play good defense. Wilson and Leonard have combined to rush for over 1,000 yards and 21 touchdowns throughout the year. So this team gonna be physical with you. So I think East Robertson will definitely be up to the bill with that, the way they like to run the football with that offensive line of Anderson and Randolph up front and Elijah Groves, and coming around on the jet sweep and Isaiah Groves in the back end of the running back position as well. So I think this one has all the makings of a defensive masterpiece. I'm going to stick with East Robertson. I've not picked against them all year, and I won't start now. I just think they find a way to win this one and hand Marion County their first loss of the year in the second round of the playoffs. I think East Robertson wins this game 17-14, Brady, in a game that they will remember and talk about in Cross Plains for quite a while.
One more commercial break coming up, and when we come back, David is going to hand you his player of the week. Technically game of the week too, but I feel like there's not much competition for that one. Stick around.
If you're in need of new flooring, look no further than Springfield Carpet One, Floor and Home. We have a showroom filled with a wide range of flooring options, including hardwood, luxury vinyl, carpet, laminate, and tile. Our expert team is here to provide advice and guidance to help you find the right flooring for your needs. With special financing available, you can buy now and pay over time. Stop by our showroom today or visit our website at carpet1springfield.com.
He shoots, and he scores!
Whether you've set personal goals or just making your health and well-being a priority, Select Physical Therapy is here for you. Select Physical Therapy is your trusted physical therapy partner for recovering from aches and pains, gaining strength, and preventing injury. There's no better time to make Select Physical Therapy's movement experts part of your healthcare team. To learn more about the benefits of physical therapy and get on the road to recovery and wellness, schedule an appointment today at selectphysicaltherapy.com. Experience the power of physical therapy today.
If you're in the market for new equipment, come to Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment in Springfield. We are your one-stop shop for all of your outdoor projects and needs. We have a large selection of eco-power equipment and a full line of bad boy mowers and tractors. We also have a broad inventory of outdoor storage buildings and provide maintenance and small engine repair on most equipment. We also carry a large line of mower engines and parts. For great financing options, stop by Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment today.
Welcome back to the Robertson County Football Show. I'm Brady McTamney. That's David Wilson. David, why don't you give us our player of the week as we wrap up the show?
Yep, player of the week for the first round of the playoffs in Robertson County. Despite his team losing this past Friday night and seeing their season come to a close, I'm going to give our player of the week award to Xavier Murray, quarterback for White House Heritage, who had 19 completions for 266 yards and 4 touchdowns in their loss to Stratford. But the young man was absolutely phenomenal in his first ever playoff appearance under his father as head coach. So despite the loss, Xavier Murray, you are the winner of our Robertson County Player of the Week award for the first round of the TLSI playoffs. You heard my game of the week, just one game in Robertson County this week, and it is a doozy as the Indians, who are one loss on the year, as I mentioned, go to face the undefeated Marion County Warriors in Jasper, Tennessee. But for this edition of the football wrap-up show, it's all in the books. For Brady McAtamney, I'm David Wilson. We'll see you guys next week when we break down Marion County and East Robertson.
You've been watching the Robertson County High School Football Show with Robertson County Connection sports reporter David Wilson and Main Street Clarksville sports editor Brady McAtamney. Read this week's Robertson County Connection for all the latest news about Robertson County High School sports. The Robertson County High School Football Show has been brought to you by Springfield Carpet One, Thomas Drugs, Old Hickory Credit Union, Countryside Outdoor Power Equipment, Select Physical Therapy in Springfield, and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Join us each week at this time on Main Street Media TV to get the latest on Robertson County football.